The heartbreaking deaths of Bobbi Kristina Brown and her mother, Whitney Houston, have left the world grappling with more questions than answers. Their eerily similar fates have fueled endless speculation, with many wondering whether there was more to their tragic ends than meets the eye. Now, Bobbi Brown, the man who shared a deep yet tumultuous bond with Whitney and the father who watched his daughter's life unravel before his eyes, is finally speaking out. After years of pain, grief, and unanswered questions, he is shedding light on the truth behind the shocking circumstances that claimed both Whitney and Bobbi Kristina's lives. Whitney Houston was a global superstar, known for her extraordinary voice and legendary career. Yet behind the glitz and glamour, she struggled with personal demons, many of which played out in the public eye. Her love story with Bobbi Brown was nothing short of explosive, a whirlwind of passion, intensity, and controversy. When you find love, you find it. I mean, it finds you, Bobbi once said, reflecting on the deep connection he and Whitney shared. Their relationship, however, was marked by struggles with addiction, media scrutiny, and personal battles that often overshadowed their love. Tragedy struck in February 2012 when Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in a hotel bathtub, her passing ruled as an accidental drowning complicated by drug use. The world mourned the loss of an icon, yet questions lingered. How did one of the greatest voices of all time meet such a devastating end? And then, just 3 years later, an unthinkable event occurred. Bobbi Kristina was found in a strikingly similar situation, unresponsive in a bathtub in her home. The eerie parallels between their deaths sent shockwaves through the public, fueling speculation about what truly happened behind closed doors. Bobbi Kristina fought for her life for months, but never regained consciousness. She ultimately passed away in July 2015 at the age of 22, leaving behind a trail of mystery and heartbreak. Was her death merely a tragic accident, or was something far more sinister at play? Many have speculated about the darker side of Hollywood, suggesting that both Whitney and Bobbi Kristina may have been entangled in something beyond their control, an undercurrent of secrecy, manipulation, and possibly even rituals linked to the entertainment industry's elite. Now, Bobbi Brown is finally breaking his silence, determined to share the truth about what really happened to the two most important women in his life. He has endured immense suffering, watching both his ex-wife and daughter slip away under circumstances he believes deserve closer scrutiny. For years, he has carried the weight of their losses, but he is now ready to open up, to reveal the details the world has long been waiting to hear. As he speaks out, the truth behind the tragedies of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina may finally come to light. Were their deaths merely unfortunate coincidences, or do they point to something much darker lurking beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface? The world is listening, waiting to uncover the reality behind these heartbreaking losses. The death of Bobbi Kristina Brown has been shrouded in mystery for years. At just 21 years old, her untimely passing has left many wondering what exactly happened on January 31, 2015. She was found unconscious in her Georgia home, lying face down in a bathtub, eerily similar to how her mother, Whitney Houston, was found in 2012. You walk through that door, and you see her much like you saw Whitney. It was a nightmare all over again, Bobbi Brown shared, still visibly shaken by the memory. Bobbi Kristina was rushed to the hospital and placed in a medically induced coma. But she never regained consciousness. 6 months later, on July 26, 2015, she passed away. While the autopsy revealed that she died from lobar pneumonia, the circumstances leading up to her death remain unclear. Just like Whitney's passing, speculation ran rampant. Was there something darker at play? Could Hollywood's most infamous rituals have had a hand in this tragedy? Bobbi Kristina grew up in the public eye, thanks to her famous parents. Her first public appearances with Whitney showcased a confident young girl with a love for singing. However, behind the scenes, her life was anything but perfect. Bobbi Kristina's childhood was marked by constant chaos and emotional turmoil. Whitney struggled with substance issues, which impacted her career and family life. At just 10 years old, Bobbi Kristina witnessed her father being charged with domestic violence against her mother. Despite this, Whitney stood by him. "He's a good man. I love him," Whitney would often say. but behind closed doors, things were different. As Bobbi Kristina grew older, she found herself caught up in her own personal battles. She was still trying to get her career on track when her mother passed away, leaving her devastated. But she was also set to inherit millions from her mother's estate, adding another layer of mystery to her death. Then came Nick Gordon. Initially taken in by Whitney, Nick's relationship with Bobbi Kristina soon became something more. However, their romance was far from healthy. Friends and family described Nick as controlling, manipulative, and a negative influence. Even after Whitney's passing, he became a dominant force in Bobbi Kristina's life, isolating her from loved ones and leading her down a dark path. After Whitney Houston's tragic death, Bobbi Kristina seemed to spiral. Shocking photographs surfaced of her looking increasingly thin, her weight loss a visible marker of the emotional and psychological turmoil she was facing. The autopsy report later revealed troubling details about her health and lifestyle. She had several tattoos, one of which bore the initials WH, a tribute to her mother. But she was also struggling with substance use, a tragic parallel to Whitney's struggles. Nick Gordon wasn't the supportive partner Bobbi Kristina needed. Instead, he encouraged destructive behavior, keeping her isolated from her family. The Houston family was deeply skeptical of Nick's intentions, and their concerns only grew stronger with time. She was a different person around him. He controlled everything she did. Neighbors reported frequent fights and wild parties in their Atlanta apartment. Police were often called, but nothing seemed to change. In 2014, Bobbi Kristina and Nick shocked everyone by announcing that they had secretly married. But there were no wedding photos, no ceremony, just a sudden declaration. But was this real love? Or was Nick's influence tightening around her? As Bobbi Kristina's relationship with Nick intensified, so did concerns from her family and friends. By the time she was found unresponsive in her bathtub, the situation had already reached a breaking point. While an official cause of death was determined, many believe she was silenced before she could reveal secrets about her mother's passing. Even Bobbi Brown has raised serious concerns about Nick's involvement. He has openly suggested that Nick may have played a role in both Whitney Houston's and Bobbi Kristina's deaths. He knows what happened. I don't know what happened that night, but he does. Was Bobbi Kristina's death truly just a tragic accident? Or was it something more sinister? Was she about to reveal the truth about Whitney Houston's passing before she was silenced? With so many unanswered questions, we may never know the full truth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe for more revealing updates, and check out the next video on the end screen for even more in-depth coverage.